Hey there, my name is Chris Cantwell. Perhaps you've heard of me. I do a little show called The Radical Agenda every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday from 5 to 7 p.m. Eastern Time. Today is June 29, 2018. It's about 3 p.m. at the moment. And what you're about to listen to is a call between myself and what's apparently a former reporter named Mike Hayden, who works for Newsweek. And Mike got himself a little bit of a scare. It's been his job to report on the far right, so to speak, for Newsweek. And apparently he's been with a few other outfits, as you'll hear on the recording. But apparently, he's earned himself a certain amount of enmity from the people that he covers, shockingly enough. The journalism industry, not exactly been kind to me and my associates, and Mike Hayden has been, hand-selected to target us. And so, shockingly enough, some people don't like him very much. And apparently the guy got doxxed. And he was having a conversation with Andrew Torba, the founder of Gab. And he said that Mike Hayden said he got doxxed on Gab and was accusing Torba of not cleaning it up or whatever. And Torba reposts the conversation with the guy and says, hey, if you got doxxed, you tell me. I removed the thing. If I don't know about it, there's nothing I can do about it, right? But he said, Hayden says to Torba, what I find amusing is that I was doxxed on your platform. You were too afraid to do anything, and the cops had to install cameras around my mom's house where I haven't lived for decades because people threatened to throw a bomb in it. That's Gab. That is how people will remember Gab, in my opinion, Michael says to Andrew Torba. And Torba posts a conversation, says, I'm not playing these games. If your dox was posted here directly, I was unaware of it. You know how to contact me. And so when I see this post from Torba, I repost it with my own commentary. And I'm being honest with you. I got a hostility towards journalists because they're lying liberal fucking scum who work for the and are not honestly reporting what's going on, as you'll hear me discuss with Mike in a moment. So, my emotional reaction to this was, oh, poor Mikey, you had to worry about your mama because information got leaked to the public. That's so sad. Womp womp. By the way, cameras don't do much to prevent crimes. They just record evidence, and masks are cheap. Perhaps you should stop making enemies. Dangerous enemies, I should say. And oh boy, sorry about that. What the hell is that? And oh boy, did Mike not like that at all. He texts me, and he says, why are you trying to stoke shit against me? I never did shit to you. You wouldn't have the balls to say it to my face. I've heard you stutter over the phone. And I says to him, that attitude is why people hate your industry. He says, I'm not a reporter anymore, Chris. I've never been anything but respectful to you. You're a coward. Say it to my face. And I tell him I'm driving. He continues to text. Amazing cowardice to try to stoke violence against people. I never called your family. I never doxed anyone. Masks, dangerous people. You could get sued for this stuff. Anyway, man, good luck with everything. And at that point is when I give Mike a call. And that is what you're about to listen to, and I hope that you enjoy it. Because what's going on right now is just the other day, some fanatic shot up some newspaper in Maryland, right? And, of course, the news media, they try to tie it back to Milo Yiannopoulos, because Milo Yiannopoulos was out there saying, I can't wait until the vigilante squads start gunning down journalists. I remember Sam Hyde had a similar comment not so long ago, right? Donald Trump called the fake news the enemy of the people. And who can blame anybody for taking a certain degree of joy in the misery of these people? Because they're not honest. Anybody who is on the ground in Charlottesville in 2017 knows how corrupt the media is. And the media knows it too, right? And you'll get certain confessions out of that during the course of this phone call. And these people, if you talk to them and and Mike knows that I record my calls, mind you. You'll hear him make mention of that a couple of times. I should stop informing people of this when I talk to them, because I usually tell people, hey, I record the call or whatever. Mike knows this from previous conversations. And a lot of times they say, turn off the recorder and I'll tell you something. And I'm like, no, I won't do it. I'm honest about it. I don't tell them that I'm going to shut it off and then try to do some gotcha shit on them. But I fucking should, because they know what they're doing. They know exactly what's going on in their industry. And so the thrust of what I had to say to Mike here, you'll hear in a little while, is... look, I have to suffer all these consequences, right? Like, I'm disarmed and stuck in Virginia because I've been framed for a crime, and everybody knows it, okay? And nobody wants to report on the fact that I'm being framed for a crime. Nobody wants to report on that. The evidence is plain to see. Nobody cares, okay? And nobody gives a shit about the threats that we receive. Nobody's going out and reporting on how dangerous Antifa is, right? Even as they go and they block ICE offices and dox ICE employees, right? Nobody cares. Nobody gives a shit, least of all anybody at Newsweek, okay? And so what I say to Mike is, you guys should have to fear the same consequences that everybody else does. You guys should absolutely, when you think about publishing something, you should think to yourself, is this going to make a bunch of people want to kill me, right? Because that's exactly what Antifa does, right? They're trying to drive up the social costs of being associated with us. They attack us in the streets, they frame us for crimes, they sue us for nonsense, and they lie about us all over the media. Those are the consequences that we have to deal with for telling the fucking truth. And then these people go out and they fucking lie with impunity, and then they wonder why people get mad at them. So that's why I titled this thing, Make Journalists Afraid Again. And I'm not saying that anybody should literally go out and do violence against them or even threaten them. But like when I see it happening, yeah, I take a certain amount of happiness in this. I don't think that these people should be nearly as comfortable as they are. I think that they should be more worried than we are, frankly. So have fun. Listen to the call.
Hello.
Hey, Mike.
How's it going?
You doing all right? How are you, man?
I'm all right. But I'm at
what are you all bent out of shape about?
Why are you? Okay, hold on. Let me go to a private room 1 second. I'm at work.
Okay.
You can't be stoking that shit in this particular environment. And it's like, for whom? First of all, I did nothing other than nice and respectful to you.
You know that that's not true, okay? Now, in comparison to some of the dirty shit that you've done, maybe you've not treated me as badly as others. But
wait, hold on. What dirty shit have I done? I'm just curious.
How about harassing Andrew Anglin's mother?
What do you mean harassing Andrew Anglin's mother?
You didn't contact Andrew Anglin's mother repeatedly? You didn't go to her house?
No. I've never been to her house. I've never been to Columbus, Ohio.
Well, then I'm thinking of something else. Maybe I'm thinking of something else. But I know that there's a great deal of... You've stirred a great deal of resentment against you, and I'm in the car, so I don't have reference to it all right in front of me. Come on. Come on.
I reported on it. That's it.
Right, but you reported on it in what way?
Right. So therefore, my mother deserves to die.
Well, I'm not saying I didn't say that your mother deserves to die.
Oh,
did
right.
I say that? See, there you go, miscategorizing. There you go, miscategorizing things again, right? Which is sort of your MO, and the entire MO of the organization. You don't work at Newsweek anymore?
I don't.
Okay, so the entire MO of the organization you used to work to was shitty liberal bloggerism, right? That's kind of like what you've made your profession of until pretty recently, right?
No, that's not true. I've been a reporter for 7 years. I was at Newsweek for 8 months.
You were at Newsweek for 8 months. Where were you before that?
I was freelance. I worked for New York Times. I worked for the LA Times. I was in India for 5 years.
Okay. All right. So you worked for a bunch of communist propaganda outfits, and you did basically shitty liberal bloggerism for them as well. Is that sort of?
Chris, I'm speaking to you as I have been nothing other than decent and respectful to you, despite the many things I disagree with about you.
That is outright untrue, right? So first of all, whenever you talk about my revenue model, you refer to it as handouts. You do it in a manner that's intentionally disrespectful, and you know it, right? And you might think that's...
You guys, well, you can bring that up with me. That's perfectly reasonable to bring up.
Okay, and I just did, right? So, but basically, what I'm trying to communicate to you...
But handouts is how the white supremacist movement gets its money.
Well, then, do you say that fucking Planned Parenthood lives on fucking handouts?
Yeah.
I highly doubt you've ever reported it that way, right?
Yeah,
what you do?
I've never had to.
Come on.
They do quite well. They do quite well.
Let's understand something, Mike. Okay, your job is to fucking go and fucking make me and my associates look like shit, or at least it was until pretty recently, right? And so, fucking shockingly enough, you've earned yourself some hostility, haven't you?
I don't think so.
You don't, I don't see it that way.
I think very few. I actually think that very few reporters have been as patient and as respectful as I have. I think that's true. I did not avoid speaking to you or speaking to people like you or speaking to your followers. I talk to them every goddamn day, and you know that.
Yeah.
You know that. Yeah, I did do that. Yes.
And then you take the bits and pieces that are most convenient to paint your little fucking narrative of us as a bunch of pieces of shit, which is exactly what I expect you to do, which is why I haven't really held it against you. Because
if you have an issue with any particular story, you can bring it up at the time, whatever. I evolved, my approach evolved, okay, reporting, listening to feedback from people, okay? I reported on you guys as honestly as I could. I think the reporting got stronger as it went along, okay? I have moved to a research position, okay? And my 68-year-old mother does not deserve to die, okay?
I didn't say your mother deserved to die.
I don't know who your family members are, and I don't care. And I've never called them, and I've never bothered them. And the only reason I ever call anybody's family, okay, was when it related to a story, okay? And the only reason I called Andrew Ornheimer's mother was because I could not get in contact with him. That was the only reason the conversation happened.
All right.
And you have since used the information for to your own benefit, to whatever degree. So it's good that I had the conversation, I guess, for you. My point is, it's a difficult job. I don't come from your world, okay? I am a 39-year-old man, okay? I have an entirely different life outside of this shit, okay? And I don't want any bullshit like fucking masks. None of that. I didn't do anything. I didn't do anything to anyone, okay? So, no reporters did anything to anyone. Okay?
No reporters did anything to anyone? No reporters? Are you now taking responsibility for your entire filthy fucking industry?
Oh, of course, but they didn't deserve anything to die, okay? They didn't deserve to criticize them all you want. Of course, the media is completely corrupt. Everybody knows that. There are problems, okay, with that. The media is corrupt. Industry is the financial industry is corrupt. You know that.
Basically, everything that touch is corrupt, right?
Well, it has nothing to do with. Okay.
Of course not. Of course not. It's just media and finance. Whoever happens to be in control of it, right?
Look, I'm not responsible for what is corrupt, what isn't corrupt. We do what we have is a situation where, of course, on the whole, the media does shitty things, pushes narratives. That is not a secret. I'm very public about that. I say it all the time. It's not a secret. It's not something I want to hide from my employer or anything. On an individual basis, journalists are people. Some of them work extremely hard to bring you the fucking news, okay? So what I'm saying is they don't deserve to die. You can criticize them. You can call them fake news. You can call them assholes. You can call them homophobic slurs. You can do whatever you want. You can call them, if you want, you can call them You can call them Jewish slurs, whatever you want on Gab, okay? Leave the mask shit, okay? Just leave the mask shit alone, okay? That's all I'm asking. That's all I'm asking.
Look, I
it's
just
totally reasonable.
Look, you just got done telling me how everything you reported is accurate. Is everything I said in my fucking Gab post accurate? Masks are cheap. Cameras don't stop crimes, right? Those are just statements of fact.
But why would you do it?
Why would I do it?
Why would you do it? I'm a person. Why are you doing it? You know exactly what it's like. You know what it's about when you're doing that. You're trying to stir shit up. You got Adam Waffen Division guys following you.
Yeah.
There's no reason. Yeah, great. So then what happens when I get, you're not going to be able to make a dime for the rest of your life if someone kills me after that.
You think so? You think that I'm not going to be making a dime if somebody fucking whacks you?
Well, you'll be sued for sure.
I'm going to be sued because someone else killed you? Some anonymous fucking asshole who I don't even know?
Well, if they're one of your followers, for sure.
Because someone followed me on social media, I'm responsible for everything they do?
Look, that's the way lawsuits work, man.
No, it's not the way lawsuits work.
Look,
if that was the case,
I'm talking to you as a person. Listen to me.
You're talking at me. I try to respond to you, and you keep on cutting me off, right? Because the whole entire thing I'm trying to get at here, Mike, is that fucking a lot of us have been fucking abused by the media, including you and Newsweek, and we fucking take a certain amount of fucking glee in you guys being unhappy about your fucking position, right? I don't see anybody going after these fucking scumbags who attacked us in the fucking streets. You're buddy-buddy with the fucking asshole who framed me for a fucking crime that has me on house arrest the fucking year after this fucking thing. I spent 107 days in jail with no bail, no probable cause. Right?
I've never met in my life.
Well,
I talked to you on Signal. I talked to you on Signal because I'm a reporter.
Right.
Okay?
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah. Right?
Right?
And how much have you fucking reported negatively on those people?
You don't understand how journalism works. There has to be a news peg. Okay? I have not.
You don't think it's newsworthy that I got fucking framed for a fucking crime? You don't think it's newsworthy?
I have never tackled that story.
Of course
I'm building
not.
intelligence now for news, but I could do it. I could do it now. Look, had I been in the position I am now, at the time that the information about the ProPublica story is out, I would have built an intelligence report here at Storyful about it because it was on social media. It was a thing. I could have built 300 words, and then every major news outlet would have it because that's the way Storyful works. Okay, I produce intelligence reports. They use it for their B matter and stuff in their stories. Okay, so I could have done that, but I was not working here then. If I had tried to pitch that to Newsweek, they would say nobody's going to click on this. Okay. Because
exactly,
it's not,
right?
No, because
exactly.
There's no news peg. There's no news peg.
There's no news peg that fucking ProPublica fucking falsely fucking accused a guy of a crime, knowingly published a lie, and had the information provided to them to fucking correct it, and consciously chose not to. That's not news, right?
Chris, I will tell you something. I went to ProPublica after you passed me that along, and I said that is saying that she was not kicked by this guy. And they said, "Oh, we have to. We'll take care of it," and they didn't. So you're yelling at the wrong person because I did do that.
Look, all I'm saying here is, Mike, you go back and forth in the course of this conversation between viewing yourself individually and viewing the news industry collectively, right? You have made a choice, okay? And you have for your entire fucking career in journalism to fucking be a left-wing propagandist, okay? And maybe some portion of that is the fucking fact of who you're working for, right?
I'm not even a reporter anymore, okay?
Okay. Well, do you think that if I turn around today, Mike, and I say I'm not a Nazi, do you think the fucking communists are going to stop bothering me? Probably not, right?
Well, I will tell you. You know what, Chris? A lot of people do leave the movement. They do.
Yeah. Well,
they do.
And a lot of fucking good it does them, I imagine. Okay, but I'm not going anywhere in any case. I'm just saying, these people.
Find out.
You are not a neutral party in all of this, pal. Okay, and you made a choice not to be. All right, so let's just not pretend that fucking you're some fucking innocent fucking victim of social media harassment. Okay, and
I never said. I said what I said is I have been decent with you, and that is true. It's a difficult situation. As you can see, there's tension in this phone call, okay? But you're also not being an asshole to me because I'm not scared of you, and you know I'm not scared of you. We're the same age. We're both from Long Island. I'm asking you, little civility. Call me. You want to call me a homophobic slur? Do it. You want to call me a tranny? Whatever you want to do it. No, it's fine. It's fine. And if I had full faith that you weren't recording a conversation, I would give you a full, delicious expletive that I could tell you right now in your face. I'd be very happy to share it with you. But the reality is this, okay? Do those things. Be mad. Criticize. Say whatever, okay?
Just don't do anything that might have consequences.
Chris, of course. Yeah, that's great.
Right.
Yeah,
you can go call me names, just don't do anything that might get me in trouble, right? Like this is exactly like when fucking people are fucking allowing those communists to run around the streets fucking assaulting people, and your industry, and you too, okay, you're not innocent in this, you know what these people did, right? You know what Antifa is, you know that they're violent communist terrorists, and you've never reported on that one time, okay?
Wait, hold on.
They've been absolutely given license to run around attacking people in the streets and framing people for fucking crimes, and you've chosen to take a side in that conflict, right?
What is the anti-fascist death toll exactly? Please help me with that. One guy got hit with some bike locks.
You want to know how many fucking? You want to know what the fucking death toll is? How about fucking Black Lives Matter with that fucking fanatic Micah Johnson gunning down 5 cops in Dallas? How many fucking maniacs have gone around and fucking killed? How about James Hodgkinson fucking goes and tries to whack the Freedom Caucus in Alexandria, Virginia. Maybe he's not carrying a fucking black and red flag when he does it, but everybody knows where this shit is coming from. If you people think that the shit that you do doesn't have fucking consequences, then you're out of your fucking minds.
Okay, hold on. Now hold on a second. Individually, if someone stoked violence against Dallas police, for example, and absolutely, you should hold that person accountable. I've never reported on the Dallas police. Okay, I have never called for violence against police officers.
Have you ever reported on calls for violence by left-wing extremists?
Look, if there's any nutjob who's calling for violence against an innocent person, then violence happens, that's newsworthy. But I've never had to report on it.
Oh, no, so unless you can connect the dots between the call for violence and the actual violence, then you're not going to report on it, right? Unless, of course, it's right-wingers, in which case everything they say is a call for violence.
Chris, I was asked, I was hired to cover the far right after Charlottesville because it became a national news story. Had I been hired to cover Black Lives Matter as a beat, we could take exception to how I reported, whether I censored what I did. But that's the reality is I did. I was.
You did exactly what you were supposed to do. You played your role perfectly, right? You did exactly what you were supposed to do, is what you're communicating to me, right? You did your job.
I get quite a few. I got quite a few compliments from white nationalists about my reporting, by the way, incidentally, tough as I was.
Well,
I did.
That's great. I'm sure you revel in the glory of that.
No, hold on. No. I'll tell you this: it matters that I'm not just. I did not think I was serving up superficial reporting. I mean, I certainly did stories that I'm not did not deserve a Pulitzer, where it was just regurgitated shit. But I think when I reported thoroughly, I went to as many sources as I could. I tried to get your voice in there.
You did a better job than Luke O'Brien doxing that on Twitter. I'll tell you that much.
I don't know if that's a compliment or not, but I'm very...
That's just me having a little fun with you, Mike.
I understand.
So Chris, look, look, Mike, I'm not trying to get you hurt, man. I was just, I took a little pleasure in the fact that you actually felt you actually had a little fear in you, and I enjoy that, frankly, right? I think that everybody in your industry should, excuse me a second, just let me get this across. I think that everybody in your industry should fucking think before they fucking write something, is this going to make someone want to kill me, right? Like, you should really think of that every single day, and everybody should think of that before they do something. Is this going to make lots of dangerous people want me dead? And I think that if everybody just thought that way before they did things, then everybody would probably behave a lot fucking better. You know what I'm saying?
Well,
journalism most of all. It's amazing.
You're talking about censorship. You're talking about censorship.
Well, what do you think is fucking going on when people are afraid to fucking talk about white causes? Otherwise, fucking Antifa is going to fucking try to attack them in the streets and fucking get them fired from their jobs, right? We have to deal with that stuff. You have to deal with that stuff too.
What did I report? Give me one example of something I did within the last 2 weeks that would theoretically make me think twice.
Why would I fucking know what you did for the last 2 weeks? I don't read Newsweek unless you get mentioned.
The point is the point is that you are chill with me, when you're not just throwing slurs at me. You are chill. You know that I speak with you with decency and respect, okay, which is quite frankly at times, if I may be frank, more than you deserve. And I get that great Batman villain laugh. But I have been respectful. I have been, okay. And so what I'm looking for from you, okay, is an acknowledgement of that, and ease it up a little bit. That's all. Just ease it up. I'm not worried about myself. I'm happy to talk to you or any other white nationalist in person, face to face. It doesn't concern me very much. My parents' house, there's no reason to fucking put the idea of putting masks and shit in people's heads. Okay? Decent. All right? Talk to me. I have always been available to the white nationalist community.
You've always been available.
And Mike Enoch calls me on the fucking phone every other week. Okay?
Well, tell me more about that.
What do you want to know?
Mike Enoch calls you every other week.
Well, Freudian calls me all the time.
That's
fascinating.
Yeah. You know what's interesting about that is me and Mike Enoch had a little bit of a dispute because him and Anglin didn't want me talking to you. They said it was against movement policy to talk to you, and created all manner of hostility towards me within the movement over that. And Mike Enoch's calling you every other week?
Yes, and Anglin's talking to me through a sock.
Which sock account is that?
The alibi account? I think it's Anglin.
What's that?
The alibi account.
Alibi?
Anyway, it doesn't matter. Who cares? I don't even care. You guys are rich children. Just this is the thing. I have a good day. I gotta get going. I have to get back to work.
Okay.
Ease it up. And this is true, and it's true for your listeners and for whoever else. You can always talk to me. My email is available to people. My DMs are open. I'm always willing to talk. And the thing is, white nationalists, they know that, because they know they come talk to me and be like, hey, blah blah blah, you're this, you're that, some kind of Arab slur or whatever. And instead of blocking them, I respond. I do.
Wow, that's really nice of you. So,
but like, you see it from my point of view, okay? Just see it from my point of view.
I do see it from your point of view, Mike. And when I see things from your point of view,
imagine you were a rootless cosmopolitan, Jay left. No. Imagine you were this type of person. Imagine, you were this, and you were what? Pescatarian. You don't even eat meat. So you imagine you're that guy, okay? And how would you handle this? Most people would not respond to people. I always answer the phone. Okay?
Right.
I always answer the phone. I give my phone number out. I always respond to DMs. I respond to emails. I respond to psychotic emails. Okay?
Wow.
And I do it with a sense of humor, quite frankly. So what I'm asking from you, just understand that and say, like, okay, he's a dick. He's not my guy. He's not a white nationalist. Just give it a little bit of that. I don't mind if you say, again, any slurs, whatever. I'm used to that. I don't care about that. Okay.
Look, let me ask you this: Would it be accurate to say that you're sympathetic to the Antifa movement?
I don't talk about politics over the phone.
Come on, that would be accurate, right?
No, it's a completely leading question. I never said anything about that. Anyway, I must.
Let me get it across. You don't have to say anything. Let me just say this last point, okay? Let's just say, for the sake of argument, that I was under the perception that you were sympathetic to Antifa. And what Antifa does is Antifa goes out and does every violent, dishonest thing that they can imagine to enemy propagandas, which is why I have an electronic monitor on my ankle and I've been framed for a crime, and you're aware of that, right? And so,
well, hold on. I'm not aware of that. You did. We got to let that play out. You did spray people, and with the. I personally think it would be a growth. I am very open. I have told people on the left this as well. I mean, the fact that you're facing 40 years in jail is asinine to me. It is abuse of power.
Yeah.
It is.
Stories about that, Bo. Anyway, what I'm trying to get across here is that
you're not going to get 40 years.
What I'm trying to get across here, Michael, I know I'm not going to get 40 years. They're overcharging me, which leftists used to have a problem with. But what I'm trying to get across here,
I do have a problem. I don't think you should be. I don't think you should do 40 years in jail for spraying somebody.
Right.
But you did spray somebody. Anyway, go ahead.
Anyway, yeah, I sprayed a guy who was involved in a gang assault. This happened. So anyway, what I'm trying to get across here is that Antifa, as you're aware, is in the business of violence and criminal intimidation of people like me because I'm an enemy propagandist, not because I actually do anything to them, right? That's why they tried to frame me for a crime on the morning of August 11th for pulling a gun. That's what these people do, and you're sympathetic to that group in my perception.
I am not sympathetic to anyone getting framed for a crime. This is putting words in my mouth.
Well, I've just told you what my perception was. That's not putting words in your mouth.
I can tell you right now, in terms of my feelings about the state, that the idea of framing someone for a crime they didn't commit to put them in jail is against every single principle that I have, and that includes whether they're a white nationalist, neo-Nazi, or a neo-Nazi or a white nationalist that wants me dead. Well, I would not, under any circumstance. Listen to me.
Anytime you want to know if I was framed for a crime, you just go ahead, read the preliminary hearing transcript, and watch the videos of the fucking night that I was framed framed for a crime. You want to come down to Virginia? I'll show you the body cam video of when I was framed for brandishing in the Walmart parking lot. Okay? So it's framed for a crime twice in a day. Nobody has reported on that, and I have tried desperately to get people to do so, right? Because nobody cares. Because I deserve it as far as the general public is concerned, and so I have no fucking sympathy.
Did you get a weapons charge for that?
No. Because the police came, I said, take my body camera, but they tried to frame me. The same people who framed me August 11th night tried to frame me August 11th morning. This is what I've been trying to tell you and everybody else who doesn't fucking listen, okay? So this happened to me. Nobody cares. The only thing anybody cares about is fucking making me and my associates look bad, you included. So don't be surprised if you earn yourself a degree of hostility from people like me, okay? And look, as far as people in your fucking industry go, Mike, probably as far as most of the fucking people at Newsweek go, I imagine there are worse ones out there than you. But you're on Gab, okay? And so you became the fucking subject of attention there, and when I saw a post, I made a comment about it, which reflected my emotional reaction to what I was seeing.
Yeah. Do you want to be in a world where we can't talk to one another? Because then otherwise, because then thing is when it comes time if you did want to leave the white nationalist movement, you want to become a libertarian, you want to live somewhere and not be harassed, you need to be able to be in communication with people like me.
You know what I need?
You don't have to answer that or respond.
Here's what I need. I need a world where people on your side fear the same consequences that my side does, and because that's the only way we can have a balance of power, Mike.
I will tell you this. I'm going to say this. I will say this. I will take that thought. I will give it way more credence than it deserves. I will just by saying that if you have this type of anger, it's worth exploring for me to think about it, whatever. But I guarantee you, you're directing it at the wrong person when you're directing it at me. I want to get back to work. Okay.
Take care, pal.
All right. And what? Be safe. I'm not asking you to delete it or anything. I was just more irritated that you're stoking because I feel like you're better than that. Anyway, I don't know why I do. I'm really stupid. There'd be a lot of people who think I'm insane that I would think that you were better than that, but I shouldn't. I should not. But fucking mentally ill.
Yeah.
But I will help you get out of white nationalism if you want.
Oh, well, thank you so much. You're willing to cause my side another casualty. That's fantastic. Thank you so much, Mike. I really appreciate it.
And when you get out, you can thank me for not crashing the car that is your life into every single signpost. Take it easy.
See,
all right?
see, there we go. See, you're sitting here trying to fucking act like you can exercise some fucking power and crash my life into every fucking signpost, right? This is what I'm talking about. You go out and you fucking go out and you attack people and you try to make people's lives difficult. And you sit here and you talk to me. You sit here and talk to me like you have some fucking power of the pen. And fucking this is going to cause me all sorts of difficulty. And then you think that just people shouldn't be able to do the exact same fucking thing to you. You should have to fear the same consequences that I do. And when fucking people stop threatening me with violence and when people stop framing me for crimes, then I'll have a little bit of fucking sympathy for your side.
Chris, you take any threats that are given, you screenshot them, you file them, and you file police report. Okay, this is not brain surgery here. That's what you do. Okay, you don't need to escalate things. You just take the screenshots and you do it. All right.
All right. Thanks, Mike.
So,
thanks for the advice.
Yeah,
I'll go give it to the same police who fucking have not prosecuted hardly anybody from fucking August 11th or 12th on the other side, and see how they do that. Okay.
Do you have a lawyer representing you?
Of course I do.
I mean, do you have but is he doing okay?
I'm out of jail, ain't I?
Okay. So then why don't you go to the lawyer and say, look, I've got I'm getting these death threats from people if they're real death threats. Show them to me.
At some point, you're going to hear about somebody on the other side getting arrested. I'm just waiting for the FBI to do it because I don't trust the Charlottesville authorities.
All right. Well, I'm always listening.
Yep. I'm sure you'll be interested in that story, and it'll be coming. I promise.
Well, I can also, I always say I'm not running stories in that way. I'm building intelligence for news organizations. That's what I do. Okay?
Right. You put the information together, and they pick out the bits that helps their narrative, right?
That I can't control.
Exactly, right? Mike, I'm just saying, you know exactly how your industry works, and you shouldn't be surprised when people get angry, okay?
I hear you. Okay. I don't know what kind of threats you've received or anything like that. I as a human being who is asking you to tone it down, I am reaching out to you and saying I appreciate it. No one likes to get threats. That's not good. People should not be threatening you with things. Okay.
I'll send you a 2-hour podcast of nothing but death threats. I swear to God. This is what my life is like. So it's very difficult for me to feel sympathy.
All right. I'm not going to make a comment about that.
All right. You have
pass it along or whatever. Just tone it. Look, the whole purpose of this conversation, tone it down. That's all I'm asking. Okay?
All right. I've heard your request. Have a good afternoon, Mike.
You too. Have a good weekend.
Take care.